Hello and welcome to the first video of getting started with SigStudio. Today I'm going to show you how to get started and get some people and signatures made in the system. Here you can see I have logged in and nothing has been created with my new account. I'm going to go ahead and set up an example group or company called Vantage Point Realty. So let's go ahead and do that by clicking on the Create New Group here on our dashboard. So you'll see here that we're presented with a creation wizard. So it's going to step us through everything we need to do in order to get started. So I have pre-prepared details for all of this stuff. So I will fill that in and we'll just work our way through it. So we've got our group name, then you've got a tagline for your group or company, your website address, and a telephone. Now we want this group to be active, so we can just leave that as is and go to the next step. Branding, we are going to upload our logo, and I have a pre-prepared one that I simply can drag onto this like so. And we're going to go ahead. We have a few options here. You can crop like freely in any shape you want. 1:1, which keeps it constrained if you're after like a nice square image. Another 16:9 ratio, which gives you more of that widescreen look. So depending on the ratio of your banner, you can choose any of these. We are going to go ahead and choose circle. And I'm going to just extend that to the edge and go next. And here we can scale our image. It's tempting to make your image large, but we find with your email signatures, it's better if you go smaller. We try and keep it around the 100 mark, 100 pixel mark that is. Then we can go ahead and put in some details. So this is for our image, so a link. So when they click on this image in our email, it would go to this web address. So you might want to put in your website, you might want to put in your social media link. It's up to you. I've just redirected it to our website. So that's pretty simple here. Okay, we've completed our 4 steps for uploading our logo image. Let's click upload image. And there we go. Now our system's tried to determine some colors that it might use to generate your feature color and social icons. If you wanted, you have the option to change this just by clicking, moving it around. You can see in real time that it's changing it to whatever we have. For my example, I'm going to use the eyedropper. I'll just click on that. And then I can choose the color in my logo here. That's exactly the color I want to use. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And you can just move forward without doing anything. But if you wanted to change the color of your icons here, the same thing happens here. So you can choose any color you want, or use your color picker to go up to your logo. And we are happy with that. Let's choose circle icons as well for our social media icon shapes. So we've got our logo uploaded. We've picked the color from our logo. We've chosen the shape of the social media icons we want and also chosen a custom color exactly to fit our branding. We're happy with that on step 2. So let's head down to step 3. Okay, so social links. We have a number of common social networks already in the system, but you can add any social network or icon that you want. That'll be in the scope of another video, but for now we're going to use some of the common ones. So we'll get a Facebook one in there, an X, LinkedIn, and an Instagram for our group. Right, we can leave the other ones blank, go next. Now we are up to the users step, and well, you have to enter at least one user for the system. So we'll go ahead and create our first example user, and her name is Sarah Jenkins. We've got an email for her, She is the principal agent of this real estate company. And she's got some personal details here that we're putting in. Right. And then we can add a profile image for Sarah as well. So we'll go ahead and do that just by clicking on there. And then I can drag in my image. And once again, we've got the image tools here that let you crop, or if you have a graphic designer, for example, in your company, and they've already made all the images exactly how they want, the size, the ratio, everything, you just keep it on no crop and click next. But usually we find that people have different kinds of images and they want to crop them and make them look nice. So once again, I'm going to choose the circle crop. And for this, we're going to just zoom in a bit and just crop the face and just take out a bit of the background and torso. So happy with that. Next. And as we spoke about before, let's just take it down to 100-ish. And next. Okay, once again, if someone clicks on this in your email signature, you may want to direct them somewhere, such as a social media page or your website. And so that's where you put the details. As you can see, this is optional, so you do not have to put a link on it either. So it's just there as an option. To finish uploading our profile image, let's click Upload Image. And there she is. The last thing we need to do is create an ad user. So let's click that and let the system do its thing. We can see that Sarah Jenkins has been created as a user and she has been added to this group. So now we have our mandatory one user in the system. However, you can go ahead and add more users if you want. There is a bulk upload feature for both users and images. And I'm going to go through that in another video, just so we don't get too in the weeds with the first video. All right, so I will just go ahead and put in a couple more users so that I can show you them in the system, and I'll just fast forward this part. Okay, through the magic of video editing, I did that very quickly. Now we have 3 users in the system, in the group, and we're happy. Let's move on to choosing our template. Okay, here you'll see a list of our pre-made templates to help you get started. And we have gone ahead and chosen one already. So I know the name is Evoke, so I can search for it. I will click this one and I have selected it. I'm happy with that. Let's go to next. Here we have our call to action. And what we do here is try and give you a nice banner that is going to show up at the bottom of your signature and entice people to click on it, get in contact, perform an action that you might like. So we have a number of presets such as get more bookings, and it's given you an example for the left here, book your consultation, and then the right call to action, book with, and then what it will do is dynamically put in each user's name. So per signature, their first name will say, book with Sophia, book with Liam, book with Sarah. So that's some dynamic interaction stuff there. That's good. There's other options here such as drive website traffic, promote an offer, and we've just gone through and done some thinking for you basically. So you can choose one of them or you can create your own. So we're going to click custom, and since we are a real estate company, we are going to put in looking to buy, and you'll see that shows up on our left there. And we're going to put in see Sarah's listings. So that's going to pull in the agent's first name depending on the signature. And when people click on that, we want to take them through to a unique link. So you can pick any link from the system, and we'll go over all these links in another video. But basically it's just a placeholder for data that every user can put in. So we put that in there. Then each user has a field in their profile, social calendar link, where they can put in their own link. And that is the link that will be clicked on in their banner. So we'll go over this in depth in another video, but just know it allows each of your users to have their own custom banner with their own unique link. Let's go ahead and finish up here with create group. System is just processing some data. And we can see our group has been created successfully. So a number of things have happened. So we've got our preview group selected, and then we can select Sarah Jenkins, for example, and we'll see all our data is being pulled in, and you can see it says looking to buy, see Sarah's listings. If we were to swap it to Liam, it's going to preview Liam's signature, and you can see it says looking to buy, see Liam's listings. So that's pretty cool. All right. Next up, now that we've created the users, we've picked the template and put some data in and the group data, we want to create the signatures. In order to do this, let's go to our dashboard and we need to process our signatures. So the reason we do this is so you can come in and make changes, add new users to groups, but until you press the start processing, signatures won't be created and therefore you will not be charged until you choose to. So we'll click the start processing button and the system knows that it needs to generate 3 new signatures. If in future you're updating existing signatures, the system will know that too. And it will also know if you want to delete signatures. So here it's saying we're going to need 3 signatures. We have 2,000 available, so we're fine there. And we're keeping our existing image file paths. This is just a detail in future we'll go over in a separate video, but there are cases where basically some programs like Gmail will cache images and we'll need to generate new paths in order to refresh Gmail's memory and tell it to fetch the latest image. But usually you just keep that at keep existing image file paths and then process signatures. The system will then process 3. It's pretty quick because we only have 3. And then we can go over to our view signatures and we will see that we now have 3 signatures and we can preview them by clicking on the little eye icon there and we can see them. In this view, we can also send the signature individually to each user, which is not something we do when we set up. Usually we bulk send that out, and I will show you how to do that in a minute. But I'm just showing you on this view, you can grab some details for this unique signature. It includes the API key that we use in our installer apps. You can copy and send it to them, or just clicking this will also send that. If we go back to this view, we can preview Liam's, and we can preview Sophia's as well. Cool. All right, if we go back to our dashboard, and the easiest way to send these 3 new signatures out to your team is to click the deploy now. So here it's going to send out the API keys, which is going to let each of them use our easy installer apps, which is the best way to install a signature if it's available on your desired email client. We have all the major ones covered. You've got the option to include the hosted HTML file, which is needed for particularly at the minute mobile installations. They will require this file. So usually you find you just send out with these ticked. The last option is very specific and only used in some edge cases. So you'll be instructed to do so in our installation guides if that's required to be ticked. But you're usually fine with the defaults and click deploy signatures and they will be sent out to your 3 new users that we just created. Some other things to touch on is we're in our dashboard, but we are in our Vantage Point Realty workspace. So we're in this company, this group. So everything we do in here only affects Vantage Point Realty. If you wanted to go and add another group, you could just go back to all workspaces and you'll see that you're met on the dashboard with the create new group wizard. And you can just step straight through what we just did for your next company, your next group, however you want to define your signatures, you create a new group for them. So you could even have new groups for every location of Vantage Point Realty. And then that way you could have a different design and layout for each group. Other things you will see here in your left menu that are only available in all workspaces, an overview of all your signatures. So this would show a list of all signatures across all groups. And the same is true for the templates view. You would see all templates in use across all groups. You would see all users across all groups, and obviously groups, it's just another UI for changing groups here. But we find it's easier if you just use the dashboard and drill in from there, and then it's pretty self-explanatory. All right, that ends our first brief overview of how to get started, create a group, and then create some users and deploy the signatures to the users. I will be back with a new video shortly, and we're adding new features all the time, so I will update this video when that happens too. Thank you.